Hi everybody, how you doing? For this tutorial we're going to be making a fairy house for Isabella and Gabriella. You're going to need an awful lot of cardboard. So what I did was I got my cardboard and I have lines for my floors and I have circles because my windows are going to be circles. So what I'm going to do right now is cut out all my circles that I have drawn on each side of my box, and then I'm going to do it to another box exactly the same size, but I want the windows in the same thing because I'm going to double it up to reinforce it. So I'm going to cut this out, come back, show you what it looks like when both of them are cut. And I have my floors where I want my floors to be, and I will be back, but for right now I'm going to cut out my windows and my door, because I have my door here also, but you can't really see it. You'll see it better when I cut it out. So I'm going to do that and come right back. Okay, so I have two pieces of cardboard, and I made sure that they're cut in the exact same spots. And this is going to be looking like a log or a stump. I'm sorry, a stump. So I wanted round windows, but I wanted to reinforce my cardboard with two pieces. So where there's a split in any of it, I am going to be using this tape. Okay? So I'm going to tape this up. And then I have lines here that I am going to reinforce with cardboard. Now, in order for, excuse me, I had to move that. In order for this to be rounded, basically what I did was, and if you're going to make this, you need to move the camera, sorry. You need to roll it. Both pieces, you need to roll them. Okay? So, what I'm going to do is I am going to put tape on all the pieces that are open like this, and I'm going to tape these two pieces together, and I'm going to do it on the inside and I'm also going to use hot glue, because what I want to do is I want to use spackle, and I'm going to put it on this side, the inside, and the outside also. But right now what I need to do is tape these two pieces together, and also add some crazy glue, and then I'm going to glue down right here on my lines, because I'd like to have more than one floor. So I'm going to have, this is going to be one floor, this is going to be a second floor, this is going to be the third floor, and then I'm going to have the roof. So right now I'm going to tape it together, hot glue it together, and then I'm going to set it up, and after I get my lines on here, and the reason I'm putting cardboard here is to reinforce my floors, because you need to reinforce your floors. So I'm going to be taping these also. So come back to show you what that looks like. So what I have done is I put cardboard all around to hold up my flooring, and then I took tape, put it around the outside. Now this is going to be my base, so I taped it to my base. I made it a little bigger than my house. So what you need to do is you need to measure out and cut circles, and that's what I did. That these will, hold on, let me put this on my stand so I can use my hands. Apologize. Okay, so I cut out circles, and these circles are going to go in here, okay? and I noticed that they're too long. Right here, they're too long. These holes in here are for my steps, because I'm going to have steps going up. So, let me see. Put this in here. Now I'm going to have to cut this some, because of the fact that it's way too big for my area, and I'm going to have to trim down on the sides. I had already put the drywall paste or dry compound on here, and I had measured this out and my circle area, and apparently when I got it up here, it's not as secure as I would like it to be. So I would like to push it back further as I glue it in, but I have 3 of these. These are going to be 3 deep. 3 deep for each floor. And then the bottom down here for my base is 2 deep. So I am going to secure this in here 1 piece at a time, and I put a hole in there for my steps, and I have that for this floor too, because you need more than 1 set of steps. So I'm thinking to have the steps 1 on one side, 1 on the other, and then push this in here. But you want to have enough of your 3 that you're putting in here to have your steps for your floors. So, or if you're going to use a ladder, you could use a little ladder for them to go up. But this needs to be cut down here, and I need to secure these in here before I use the drywall compound. So I am going to tape in, not tape, yes, pretty much tape, you're right, I was right, my pieces to make sure that it fits, and then I'm going to continue. Once I get this all in here, I'm going to do my 3 layers. I'm going to tape them in, and I am also going to tape one upside down with the hole so that the ceiling is done. So what I mean by that is, here's one with the hole, and here's the other one. Okay? So I am going to put them back to back, just like this. Okay? So that if you were to look at this, you would have both sides done. And I'm going to put one in the middle. So let me take this out and put one in the middle. And here you go. Here's all 3. And I'm going to tape these, and then I'm going to secure my floor to my dollhouse. I'm going to tape all this in once I tape these together, and I have all 3 of them have drywall, which makes them harder, and which is awesome. So they'll be more secure, and then I'm going to start using my drywall compound. So for right now, I'm going to tape these together, secure each floor, and secure the bottom of the dollhouse once I get my floors in there. So I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like when I get all that finished plus the roof on. Okay? So what you need to do before you add your spackle, drywall, whatever you want to call it, your drywall compound, sorry, you want to make sure that all your windows are cut, which I did that. Okay? And your floors for when you put your stairs in. You want to make sure that everything is taped. Everything is secure and taped before you do it. Here's my doorway. I suggest you put windows on every floor because it'll get dark in here. So this helps add with the light. And you want your roof on. And right now I have Elmer's glue up here holding it down to secure it. But for right now, this is what I have. And so the base also has a little extra right here, so that you can maybe put a tree or something in front of your fairy house. So I have duct taped the living daylights out of my little house. So I'm going to put my spackle on, and I'm basically going to do each individual floor and the walls, and I don't think I'm going to do the roof, the top roof yet, because I want that to look like the top of the tree stump, and I want to show you what that looks like when I do it. So for right now, I'm going to spackle each floor and each wall. I just want to have it so that it has the spackle on it and it's all done. So I will be back. Now see how this hangs down? I don't like that, so I can cut that before I spackle. So that's what I'm doing. So you want to make sure that you have everything taped in, secure, as you can hear it, and then I'm going to spackle everything. So I will be back. I forgot to mention that I have the top part hanging over my doorway and all, so that it has a little bit of, you know, if it was going to rain or whatever, but I have this over more so than the other sides. So this is what it looks like right now. It's very much duct taped and all. And now time for the spackle. Here is what it looks like right now. Now, when you put on your spackle, you do not have to cover everything 100%. Okay? You don't need to use a lot of it. It'll take too long to dry, especially in the winter. But listen to this. Hard as a rock, which is awesome. So I made sure that I covered everything with the spackle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing the sides and the top. And when I do them, I'm going to add more spackle to it so I can add some texture. Okay? When you do this, you can wear gloves. I don't do well with gloves, but you should also wear short sleeves, because if you're touching the spackle, it's going to get all over your clothes, and I really get into stuff. So here is what I have so far, and I have a fork also. So I'm going to take some spackle, and I want to build this up so that I can put lines and items in here. I'm going to end up using my hands. I know I am, because that's what I do. But for right now, I am just going to coat enough on here, and I'm going to continue to do this all the way around, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I just put some right here. So now I'm going to take my fork and put lines in it, just like that. So you want enough spackle so that you can make lines in your spackle. Okay? So I'm going to continue to do this all the way around, and then I'll come back when I'm on the top. But I want this to look like a stump. So I will be back. Okay, can you see the details where I put the fork in here? Now, what I'm going to do is I have one of these old sponges that I've used to do dishes with, and I put some spackle on it, and I'm going to add some texture around different parts of my tree. And if you want your lines more defined where you did it, just take your lines down your tree. I want to give this tree stump as much texture as possible. And you can reuse this too to do crabs, which is awesome. All you have to do is wash it. So now if you want pointier items to make it stand out some more, grab quite a bit of this, and see how I dabbed right there and it left like a point, but you will have to sand it down, and I like to sand this down when I'm done so that it's not sharp, because it's supposed to be a dollhouse and you don't want that. So this is giving more texture to my tree, which I think is pretty original for your stump and pretty awesome. So again, I'm going to show you again. I have more spackle. And there you go. Oh, you missed it. I didn't have the camera pointed. So there you go. I'm just putting it around all over. So that is all I'm doing, trying to get more texture on my tree stump, because it's supposed to be an old tree stump. It kind of looks like stucco or a popcorn ceiling. So for the top, I have a big bottle of glue holding it down, Elmer's glue. So the reason I have that there is so that it'll kind of stay flat. Apologize for that. I'm trying to move my thing. So I'm going to show you how to do the top. And I'm only going to do part of it because I want to leave the glue on to keep this secure so that it's down. I want it down. Maybe I'll wait to come back to do that, because I'm thinking I should add something hard over here so that this spackle will dry down further. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to work on the top right now. I'm going to go away and come back and work on that after it dries. Okay, so the rest is dry. We're going to work on the top. Also, my spackle I bought a ginormous bucket, 4.5 gallons of ultra lightweight joint compound, which is spackle. This is my second attempt at this, so the first one did not pan out. So I have used almost the entire bucket, but it's so much cheaper. I think it was less than $20 for how big of a bucket I got. So I think it's cheaper than buying those little containers that you would get at the Dollar Tree or somewhere else. I got the big, ginormous gallons of bucket, 4.5 gallons. So right now I am just smearing on my joint compound, spackle, whatever you'd like to call it. And when I'm done that is when I'm going to move to doing my rings in the top. So I'm going to work with my spackle, and as soon as this is done, I'm going to come back. Well, I'm almost done now. I'll wait. Keep you on while I'm doing this. See, I don't know what you guys want to watch, what you don't, you know. I don't have good editing skills because I don't know how. So I try to turn it off so I'm not boring you. And I also don't have the best camera, and I don't know how to do it on my iPhone, and apparently I don't know how to do it on my iPad either. So that's why you get my half messed up videos where you don't even see the product, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm winging it. So that being said, once you're done icing like a cake your spackle, I'm going to get it all over here also. I have my fork. Now, top of trees have those rings. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to just start putting rings around the middle. And I also want to put regular lines in it, like I'm doing here. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to go back around and do my circles again. They don't have to be perfect. This is supposed to be an old tree stump. It's going to get painted. So, another thing you can use spackle for, other than making dollhouses, fake cupcakes. You can use it for icing. You can use spackle for a lot of things. So here is my spackle, like that. Now I'm going to get I got a paper towel, and I'm going to dab around. I want to give it texture. I think this is awesome. It also blurs out my lines a little bit, but I want it to have some texture. And I like how it gives it like a stucco effect, if you want to call it a stucco effect. But I think it looks more like a tree stump. And then again, doing my line, my circle. So do whatever you like to the top of your whimsical fairy dollhouse. And when this dries, we'll be moving on. But I want to show you the sides. So I'm going to take this off. So the insides I already showed you. Aren't the greatest covered with the spackle, but that's okay because we're going to cover it. Okay, this is all going to be covered. It's going to be painted. If not painted, I'm going to use paper to wallpaper it. But on the sides, I have the lines in it and holes for windows, and hard as a rock. Hard as a rock, which is lovely. Now, what I'm going to do is where it's sticking up, you don't want it to hurt little people. You know, if they're playing with the dollhouse, you don't want them hurt. So I am going to not spackle, oh my goodness, I am going to sand this down some, like a light sanding. And then my awning for here. So, and I kept my door frames. So I'm going to clean these up, and I'm going to get popsicle sticks, and I'm going to put these together, clean them up, and then we will be attaching the door. So these, they're a little bit big because of the fact that, you know, we have rounded it out and all, and, you know, used the spackle. So I'm going to clean these up, and then I'm going to use popsicle sticks. And what I'd like to do is have like the top part open and the bottom part shut. So I'll show you how to do that, which is going to be fun. I believe I might be making some awnings over top of the windows to make them kind of look like mushrooms, but I don't know. I could change my mind. That's the fun thing about crafting. But I really like how this turned out right now, how it's drying. I really like it, and I'm kind of really enjoying this. I hope it turns out, you know, as well as I expect. I only have 3 floors, but I have seen dollhouse designers, miniaturists, do just one room, a square box, one room. So I wanted to go out of the box, right out of the gate, doing something that I haven't seen done, and I made it to look like a tree stump because of the fairies I made, which is Gabriella and Isabella. So I am going to wait for that to dry, and I got to think about what kind of paper or whatever I'd like for wallpaper in here, because I want wallpaper, and I have to sand down whatever's hard for little people's fingers, and I will be back. Okay? But I really like the way the top looks. It looks pretty snazzy. So, I will be back. Bye. Okay, so now we are going to start by painting the outside. I didn't sand it down yet. I want to see if maybe the paint helps make it softer. I can also sand it down later, but I have black Waverly ink paint, and I'm going to start with that. I'm going to be layering this with other colors, but I want to start with black, hopefully getting it into quite a bit of the nooks and crannies. So, since the top is still drying, I figured, why not start painting it black, because that'll dry also. So, I am just painting my house black. So, basically you want to cover the entire outside of your tree stump with black paint, which is what I am doing here. You don't need a lot of it. If you notice, I only dipped it in the container one time so far. And if you need more in certain areas, just dip it again. So right now I am just doing the entire outside black with black Waverly ink chalk paint. Well, it's called ink chalk paint, not black. So I'm going to continue doing that, and then when it dries, we're going to go for different colors other than the black. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I will then be back to show you what our tree looks like, our tree stump. But I definitely want to start with the outside of our house, and if this video gets too long or I run out of my memory card on this, then I will do another video finishing our dollhouse. Okay, I like how in some parts it's darker than the others, but this brings out the texture of our tree stump. It shows everything, and where there's a fold in, let me see, a fold here, right here, you want to make that a little darker, right in that area. But I am going to continue painting and come back, and we will do this in layers. But if this video seems to start getting too long, because I have more than one video in my on my camera, and my son downloads them, and I'm running out of time on my memory card, and when that happens, he'll then download my videos, which he's pretty awesome about that, because I don't know much about computers. So if that's the case, this will be more than one part of a video. But for right now, I am just going to paint. And as you see, it's taken off some of the, see how there's little black specks down here? It's taking off some of the hard parts where it's like stucco. So I don't think you're going to need to sand it, but I'll let you know. But right now, I am not sanding it. I am just going to paint every bit of my little or large fairy dollhouse. So I will be back. Okay, I painted it black. So far, I still have to do the top. But as I was looking at it, I was like, it's missing something. and it's not perfect, and I try to make everything better, so, or somewhat perfect. So what I did was I took newspaper ads and I twisted and twisted and twisted, because we're going to make some roots for our tree. I need to have roots. So my old standby paper mache, I'm going to try some of that, but we're going to start, I'm going to need more boxes to add to this a little bit, but for right now I am going to start gluing down what I have. And I'm not doing the paper mache right now, but I'm going to be doing paper mache because I need this to look more like a tree. And I don't like the fact that I don't have roots for my tree. So I'm going to be sticking this here and turning it and then laying it down. And this one needs to be turned some more. So I'm going to be adding quite a bit of paper, and which is awesome because I love recycled items. And I also have cardboard. So what I'm going to do with the cardboard is I am going to glue, I have it folded over, and I am going to stick it right here. So I am going to continue to add more and more roots on my tree because I want my stump to look like an actual stump that the fairies came and took over because it was hollowed out. And they made it their home, but I'd like it to still look like a stump. So I am going to be doing this, getting more cardboard that I'm sure I have somewhere in my house, which I know I do, and I'm going to add more to the base and put my spackle on it. I don't want this really, really close to the door because I'm going to be making the door and I want it to be able to open and close. So I'm thinking this is good because it could open this way. Open and close, yeah, okay. So I'm going to keep working on that, okay? So that's two different ways I'm going to be adding, just so you know, roots to my tree. And then I'm going to add glue and more paper mache, and I'll come back and show you when I'm doing that. So I'm glad I painted it so that I could realize that I needed roots. So I added 2 boxes here and put spackle on it so I could add some more roots, more so closer to the house. And the reason I'm saying that is I could use this for an extra area. Then I painted the top. Look how cool that is. I love that. I love that. And I painted the top. So this is what it looks like so far. And we have a lot more to do. And I added over here for roots, and this can be a side area also, maybe a wishing well, some mushrooms, whatever. But it's cool, and we can figure out something to make. So I'm going to need to add a lot more roots and vines all over, and I'm going to need to add some roots and vines and different what am I trying to say? Different pieces of wood to the middle inside up against the wall so it looks textured, so that it looks like it's a wooden house, like what am I trying to say? So it looks, you know, like a carved out tree stump. I mean, it's not perfection, but it's not supposed to be perfection due to the fact that it's a tree stump. How cool is that? I've honestly never seen anybody do a tree stump. I'm sure if I Googled it on YouTube I'm sure something would come up, trees, fairies and trees. I mean, I've seen the little ones, but I've never seen anybody make a dollhouse, but, you know. So, and the reason I'm making the dollhouse is to give Isabella and Gabriella a place to live, because I made the fairies and now they need a place to live, and I'm pretty excited because it gives me something to do. So here's what the top looks like. Again, we're not done painting, but of course now that we added the sides, I wanted to get them on right now so that they can dry and harden. And then when it hardens, I'm going to work on more of the roots and have them going up the sides of our stump, and then some awnings I think I'm going to add. I don't know. I'm thinking a little swing, you know, maybe a branch or something sticking out where I can put a little swing on it for her to swing or her sister to swing. So we shall see. I'm pretty excited, and I'll be back real soon to finish working on the tree stump, fairy house, dollhouse, whatever you wanted to call it. Okay, see you in a bit. So I added some bottles. I thought I already taped this. Apparently I didn't hit the button to record, or the battery went dead. I am unclear, and as we all know, I suck at editing because I don't edit. I don't know how. So I added 3 bottles. Not sure how heavy this is going to be. I just want to give it more than just a tree stump dollhouse. Maybe a lookout tower. I don't know. My creative juices are going. But I am going to want to rip up paper, so I'm going to do that before I go to bed tonight. And these bottles I have on top of the drywall compound, the spackle, whatever you want to call it. So I am going to rip up a bunch of papers because I'm going to do paper mache, and I need to paper mache some more roots. But I'm thinking with the side panels I added, then I could, what's the word I'm looking for? Add extra to it. Okay, thanks. Bye. This is, right here, this is my paste for paper mache. And it consists of flour, water, and Elmer's glue. And I mush it around till it gets mushy. So it's just like basically shredded up paper, which I love working with that instead of just long strips of paper, but you can do whatever you feel you would like to do. So what I'm going to do while my camera thing is coming down is, hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go, I think. I hope. So here's my bottles. So I'd like to secure them to my bottom piece. So I'm going to take my paste and I'm going to start putting it on my bottles. And I definitely want to make sure I do the bottom parts, but I want all of this to be sturdy and secure. And I'm using my paper mache paste. So I just want to let you know that making this dollhouse, fairy house is going to be more than one part of a series. So, or episodes, whatever, or different tutorials. So right now we're working on the outside. When I start to run out of space, that'll be the end of the first one. And then maybe I can finish this in 2 videos. I am not sure. But I am going to continue to load my paste around my jars. And I'll probably leave some space for windows in some areas. But I want to make sure that this is going to be secure and it'll hold to the others. You can wear gloves when you do this. I am I just don't do well with gloves. I need to touch things, and I'm probably going to have to make some more paint. I want to show you the progress I've made so far. So, I have made roots going down some of our stump. I added extra right here, which we've already discussed. I made some more roots over here. This is going to take a while to dry. It's paper mache. I'm going to call it, not paste. Well, yeah, probably paste, because I mush it up so much. So here's another part of the roots, and I like how it's got cracks in it. I did around the top. I did some of the paper mache, and I have this root here. This one goes from the bottom to the top almost, and it's got another piece coming out on the side, and I made a little lump thing here. I'm thinking of making that a seat. Then where we put the bottles, I made sure I made spaces for like little windows, and I wanted it to kind of look like roots, so I have roots going up. I have one going in the window. I continually have the paper mache going around the top, and I have a little bit of the roots coming inside. I don't want a lot because I don't want to take away from the space that I have in the dollhouse. But I have some of the root there. It's not level, but that's okay. It's a tree stump. So this is going to take probably quite a bit to dry. So I have the ceiling fan on in my craft room, and I'm liking how it's turning out. Now, I started the bottles yesterday, and to be honest, this is not dry yet. So I'm not exactly sure how long this will take till it dries. So I might have to end this video soon and then start a part 2 because I'm running out of room on my memory card. So this is what it looks like so far with the roots and the extra here. I wanted to add a little extra with the bottles, and I did, and I added some windows, which I will wipe these off because right now they have glue and flour on them from the paper mache, but I want to wait till the paper mache is rock hard. And this is starting to become extremely heavy, and that's okay because I'm keeping it for me. So, and if you're making one for your child, you know, that's okay if it's heavy because you can put it in the playroom or whatever. So that is what I'm doing. I'm still working on it. This all has to dry. I keep messing with it because that's what I do. I continue to mess with things, and I'm going to have to let this dry. So I will be back once this dries. This might be video 2. This might be the end of video 1. Right here I have a gap in my root. I love that. I just like how it has different things going on my root area, which I love that. So I think I might be ending this video, and I'm going to start the next part, painting it and everything and getting it ready. So thanks so much for watching part 1 of my stump, my fairy stump treehouse. I hope you come back and see the next video. Bye.